So actually I'm going to end with a discussion about why even that tool is flawed. And that is, picture this scenario. You're advertising on the content network with an advertisement that sends a visitor to your site. They're not in the buying mode, so they're not quite ready to buy. They go to the site, they go away, and 2 days later they remember the name of your domain, they type that in, come to the site and convert. Every analytics package, Google AdWords, Google Analytics, etc., attributes the conversion to the most recent visit and gives no credit to the one or more visits that happened earlier. So frequently we find that advertisers are bidding too low on their broad search terms and too high on their explicit or more detailed search terms. Now this is changing, and these are 3 tools that are fairly new. Tenshu Search is the one that we use at our company. It is an automated bid management tool that gives credit to every visit in the chain. So it actually varies the bids on the broader search terms correctly, giving them credit for an eventual conversion when the software knows that the visit started with that first broader term. 2 other software packages that have this characteristic are Quizio and Commerce 360. All of them are very good. We've looked at them very closely, and we did Tenshu. So here's what's going to happen eventually. Not that this is fascinating for people who want to make money this year, but Google's going to open the API into Conversion Optimizer. We're going to get some fantastic tools for managing campaigns and automating testing. And eventually, pay-per-click will be only CPA. Why bother setting keyword bids when all you need to give the engine is your target CPA? So that's what's going to happen. And then in the future, other PPC agencies and consultants will be like ours, which is we charge based on our performance. We charge based on the profit that we generate, not the amount of money that we spend. And that's it. Did I leave enough time for a Q&A?
I think so, yeah.
One thing, that URL right there will bring you to a page that has links to the 60 articles I've written for Search Engine Watch, all the replays of the PPC Rockstar shows, my company blog, where a lot of this information is detailed, and a bunch of other stuff.
Thank you, David. Do we have some questions, David, now? How do you relay CPA back to Google?
Well, you have to be using Google's AdWords conversion tracking.
Right.
So basically, it's a chunk of code on the thank you page after the purchase.
Gotcha.
And that's it, really. It's that simple.
And what would be an average CPA bid for a term like a poker term?
Well, you don't think of it as terms. You think of it as how much do I want to pay for a conversion?
Right.
This period. What am I willing to pay for a conversion? So if it's $50, you say $50 for everything, for the whole campaign, not for individual keywords.
And is it the largest bid that wins out and gets the most conversions from Google?
Well, that's a good question.
Process work when you set your CPA levels?
It works the same as it does without Conversion Optimizer, except that there are no humans involved. So basically, the software is pushing the bid as high as possible to make sure that the clicks are no more costly than you need to pay to get the target CPA. Okay? So the bidding is the same. And by the way, you still have to pay attention to your ad copy and test ad copy, because your goal is to, over time, continually increase your click-through rate. That's what gives you the higher quality score, which gives you a higher position compared to your competition, even if they're paying less than you. So you have to do that whether you're using Conversion Optimizer or not.
Several companies have told me that the optimizer actually reduced the performance when they switched it on with CPA goals, and over time, not only at the beginning. Have you experienced such things?
I've written 2 really long articles about Conversion Optimizer. You have to experiment with it a little bit. First of all, Google makes it a little confusing, because they say that the number that you give them is the maximum CPA. And so a lot of advertisers don't really know how to translate that into target CPA. You have to experiment. Start high and go low is basically the advice. And then you also have to pay attention to seasonality. Because, for example, if you have a 2-month period of the year when sales or conversion rate is traditionally low, Google's software will use that to manage the bids when the demand goes up. So you might have to tweak the maximum CPA upward a little bit during that time. And the same goes for when there's the low period after a high period, Google will bid too high. So you have to manually adjust the maximum CPA. And by the way, the Google help documentation for Conversion Optimizer is really good, and they say all the stuff in there.
More questions? What kind of CPA numbers are you looking at for your clients in gaming?
We don't have any clients in gaming.
What are you doing here? The hell are you? But if you would, is $100 achievable?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, using the keyword methods I was talking about, less than 100 is definitely achievable. I can't predict the exact volume,
Right.
but again, if you bid on keywords that the competitors aren't bidding on, you're going to be getting a very high position, like maybe even your ad is the only one on the page. So $100 is very achievable.
Yes. Where's our curious guy? Okay, there you go. Never mind.
I just want to say that I think that every advertiser does or measures what he's willing to pay for CPA. In the gaming field, depending on the retention of the player and what the lifetime value is, some players are worth more than others and they're willing to pay more. I just wanted to say regarding to optimizing content campaigns, we found that actually the best way to do it is to start a content network campaign, run it for like a few weeks, do the placement report, see which sites are converting, close that campaign, and open a site targeted campaign. Basically, only a few sites are the one to bring you the conversions, and you don't really need the rest. So.
Yeah, I'd recommend that technique as well, except for one thing. I wouldn't close the keyword targeted campaign, because every day there are new sites coming online. So you might miss some future ones that way. So what the real best practice is, keep that one open, take the ones that are performing well, put them into a site targeted campaign, exclude them from the keyword targeted campaign, and keep that one running as kind of a harvester.